Thank you, David. Nice to see everybody here this morning, and welcome to How to Build a Social Media Strategy That Works. If you haven't been on one of my webinars before, then just to tell you a little bit about me. So I'm Esther. I grew up playing shops. This is me. Always wanted maybe to be an entrepreneur, and that was then, and this is now. So award-winning business owner. I run my own business, which is called Online Media Works. I work as a business coach for Real World Consultancy, and I also do some work for various universities. So if after this session you want to get in touch with me, David will send you the slides if you complete the feedback questionnaire, and my email address is on this slide. So I'm really happy to take any questions as we go through this morning. Please put your questions in the chat. But if you want to email me afterwards, if there's something that you're stuck with or you want to ask about, then please do so. So we've got around kind of 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how it all goes this morning. And so a lot of my time I have spent working with small business owners just like you to maximise their reach, their people's awareness of who they are and what they do on social media. And most of the people that I work with are people who are my kind of age and stage, who didn't grow up with smartphones in their pocket 24/7. So that's kind of a bit where I'm coming from in having this session this morning about having a social media strategy, because often I chat with business owners and I say, which social media platform are you on? And they might say Facebook, and I say, that's great, why are you on Facebook? And then there's a big pause, and then they say, well, everybody's on Facebook, so I thought I'd be on Facebook. So I want us to kind of take a step back from everybody's on Facebook, so I need to be on Facebook, and really think about and dive deeply into who your customer is. So this might be something that you did way back when you started your business. It might be something that you've never really thought about before, but I think it's a really useful starting point to understand who we're actually targeting. And then I have business owners that say, well, my product, service, whatever it is suitable for everybody. It's like, yes, okay, but you can't market to everybody. Even people like Coca-Cola have, who you could say, yes, their product is for everybody, but they still have segments of their market. So they might have caffeine-free Coke, or they might have sugar-free Coke, or they might have the original Coke or whatever. So they will have different marketing campaigns for their different products. So we really need to deep dive and find out who our customer is. And then when we've decided who our customer is, we really need to think about where they hang out on social media, because it may not be Facebook. Then we're going to think about what questions our customers, potential customers, are asking, because if we can answer those questions, then what we're posting is much more likely to resonate and engage with our target audience. And then as a business, what are your priorities? Why are you on social media in the first place? What is it you want social media to do for your business? I'm a big fan of having things that are measurable. So how can you measure the return on investment for the time and the energy that you put into your social media strategy? We're going to have a bit of a look about the customer journey, and we're going to look at how you can then create a content calendar, which is going to be the basis of your social media strategy. And then we have to have at the end, we might have a think about what are the barriers that could potentially get in the way from you being successfully implementing and executing this strategy for your business. So if we look at what a marketing model might look like for a particular business, They might have online marketing and offline marketing. They might do expos and events. They might sell wholesale. They might do print ads, radio ads, maybe TV ads. They might have a direct sales team. Or online, they might have obviously their own website that they've optimized for search engines to find them. They might have a blog on their website. They might have an email list, and then they might be on various different social media platforms. So you can see how your social strategy is just a small part of your overall marketing piece. And it's the social media part that we're going to be looking at this morning. So I've recently updated these slides. Somebody every year very helpfully creates something called What Happens on the Internet in 60 Seconds. And it's really interesting for me to have a look and see, well, what's not here that was here last year, or what is here that wasn't here last year. And obviously one of the things that we've now got happening on the internet in 2023 is the fact that we've got ChatGPT. And I'm going to talk about that this morning and talk to you as business owners about how you can use ChatGPT to help you with your marketing and to maybe speed things up for you in your particular business. So we've got people visiting ChatGPT. We've got 240 million emails being sent every minute. We've got text messages. We've got Google searches. We've got people still on Twitter, apparently. We've got Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and all the other things that are going on every 60 seconds on the internet. And we have to think about this from two different perspectives. So the first perspective is, okay, us as business owners, we have got all this stuff, all these notifications coming at us all the time, and it's immensely distracting and potentially overwhelming. But our customers have also got all of this stuff going on and all these notifications. And somehow we as businesses need to be able to cut through that noise and get our potential customer to kind of stop scrolling wherever they are and take notice of what it is that we're saying and the messages that we're putting out. And hopefully I've got a few ideas this morning that will drive that forward for your business. The other thing I just want to talk about for a couple of seconds is about the lifespan of different social media posts. So you could do all of the work that we're going to talk about this morning. So working out who your ideal customer is, working out what questions they're asking, working out what keeps them awake at night. We could construct a beautiful image in Canva or a video or whatever it is, some visual part of our social media post, and then we're going to carefully craft our caption with our call to action. We're going to research our hashtags, and then we're going to send it forth into the internet. So we can do all of that, and on Twitter, our tweet is going to last about 15 minutes. So what that means is, unless your target customer is actually scrolling through Twitter when you put that tweet out, they are unlikely to actually see it. Unless you're doing something like Worcestershire Hour or Coventry Hour or whatever it is, which is like a dedicated kind of chat on Twitter where people are deliberately engaging with other people's content. I think it's very unlikely people are going to see your stuff on Twitter. So just bear that in mind. Facebook, your post is going to last about 6 hours. So people say to me, gosh, you know, I'm spending all this time on Facebook, but I'm not actually getting anything back. Well, there's lots of reasons for that, but one of the reasons is the fact that after 6 hours, nobody's going to see your post anyway. Again, the caveat to that is unless you're posting in a Facebook group, because groups, again, it's more kind of targeted people having conversations around particular topic areas. On Instagram, it's about 21 hours, LinkedIn, 24 hours, YouTube, more than 20 days, Pinterest, more than 4 months. So anecdotally, I can tell you that pins that I've put on Pinterest are still gaining traffic to my website 18 months after I pinned them. So lots of people will discount Pinterest, but it doesn't work like a social media platform. It works more like a search engine. And I do a session for the BIPC on Pinterest. So if that's something that's of interest, do let me know, and I can let you know what potentially what the next date is for that. But having a blog on your website is the thing that's going to give you the most longevity. So even if you're not doing any social media, you should be putting regular blogs on your website to make sure that you're being found in search and you're positioning yourself as a subject matter expert. So we haven't got time to work through this exercise today. As I said at the beginning, you're going to get these slides, so you'll get these kind of questions. But the kind of thing that you need to be thinking about for your ideal customer is, you know, what's their name and age? Where do they live? What kind of education have they had? What do they read? What do they watch on TV? Where do they shop? What kind of car do they drive? What's their job history? So we're building up a kind of fictional pen picture of a particular person who is going to be our target audience. And the reason for that is when we're writing our blogs, when we're writing our social media posts, we can say, well, I wonder if this post would resonate with David or Zoe or whoever. And we've really got them firmly in our brain, and we're thinking as if it's just Esther having a conversation with David or Zoe, and would this really resonate with them? The other thing to think about with your target customer is how do they access the internet? So again, this will depend very much on age. Older people may use tablets. Younger people will always be on their phone. Business people may be using their laptop or a desktop. So think about how they access the internet, and then what apps do they use and how do they use those apps? So I've told this story before, but my mum is 81 and she's on Facebook, and she will sit in the afternoon with a cup of tea and she will read through Facebook just like you'd read through a Good Housekeeping magazine or whatever. And then she'll say, do you know what, I read Facebook for 3 hours and I didn't get to the end of it. And that's the way that she uses Facebook. Whereas younger people might dip in and out during the day, what's happening in a group, or they've been tagged in a post. They're more likely to do bits and pieces on Facebook, maybe while they're in a queue in the supermarket or whatever. The other two really important questions to think about for your ideal customer are what makes them burst with joy, what really makes their heart sing, and also what keeps them awake at night. Because we know that people buy from an emotional place. So we really have to try and tap into the emotions of our ideal customer and work out those two things about them. So I went on to ChatGPT and I said, hello, ChatGPT, I need some help. I said, could you create a customer persona for a menopausal woman? So I know that this is really vague, but if you look, again, it's very small text, so you'll be able to read this better when you get the copies of the slides. But ChatGPT gave me menopausal Mary, who's a 52-year-old woman currently experiencing menopause, married for 25 years, has 2 grown-up children who've moved out of the house. It talks about what she does for a job, what she values. She's busy, she has an active lifestyle, she's juggling work responsibilities. It tells me about what menopausal Mary's goals and motivations are. It tells me what her behaviour and lifestyle is like. It tells me what her shopping preferences are and what her challenges are. So this is a really good starting point if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have no idea about who I should be targeting for my business on social media. I would always say to you that whatever prompt you give ChatGPT, that's what it will use to generate the response. And you need to sanity check what it is that ChatGPT is actually telling you. So think about, does this make sense to me? If I'm thinking about somebody who I know is menopausal, are they likely to have challenges, for example, with information overload? Do they feel like they're on an emotional roller coaster, and have they got time constraints? So those are the kind of things that I might want to kind of sanity check, and maybe chat to somebody who is menopausal and say, is this how you're feeling, or tell me how you're feeling, so that I can sense check this response that I got from ChatGPT. But I think as business owners, this is a really good way as a starting point, if at the moment you've got a blank sheet of paper. So then I asked, what social media platforms would menopausal Mary use? So ChatGPT will take the answer it's given you previously, and then you can expand on that. So it says, menopausal Mary is likely to use a variety of social media platforms to connect with others, gather information and seek support. So Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn. So as a business owner who is short on time, I would suggest that you focus on one social media platform first and really maximize how you use that and use it really well. But what I might suggest you do is set up almost like a holding page. So for example, if you're not going to use Pinterest, set up your Pinterest page, your business account for your business, but have a pin that says, thank you for finding me here. I tend to hang out on Facebook or Instagram or wherever it is that you tend to hang out. So you could set up a LinkedIn company page. And if you don't decide you're going to use that for your business now, you can then have a pinned post at the top of your LinkedIn company page that says, thank you for finding me here. I tend to hang out on Facebook. You don't know where people are going to find you. And I would definitely make sure that you have got that real estate of that URL. So it's pinterest.com/whatever your business name is, because even though you don't want to use it now, you might want to use it in the future. So that would be my top tip there. So we've got an idea about who our target customer is, and we've now got an idea about where they're likely to hang out on social media, which social media platform. And now we want to think about what kind of questions are they asking. So this goes back to our question on the who is our ideal customer sheet about what keeps them awake at night. And there's a really good book, I don't think I've got a copy to hand, but I would recommend to you, called They Ask You Answer, by a guy called Marcus Sheridan. If you don't want to buy his book, you can follow him on LinkedIn, and he posts really useful articles and marketing tips. But his basic premise is that whatever questions your customers are asking, you should have blogs, videos on your website that answer those particular questions, and that they're optimized for keyword search, so that if somebody puts how to cope with my menopausal symptoms, for example, then some of your blogs will then pop up in answers to those questions, if that's your particular field of expertise. So we've now got our customer persona, if we want to call it that. We've got where they hang out on social media, and we've got what kind of questions they might be asking. So now we're going to step back a little bit from our customer and think about what is it you want to achieve on social media. Why are you doing it? I've had a question say, what's the title? The book is called They Ask You Answer. And then there's a second book, which is about, I think it's called The Visual Sale. And the second book is very much around what are the videos that you need on your website, on your social media, etc. The second book, I think, was free on Kindle Unlimited recently. So if that's your bag, then check it out. Yes, so why are you on social media? What is it you want social media to do for your business? Is it about increasing customer loyalty? Is it about generating leads and sales? Is it about getting your website found online? Is it about increasing brand awareness? And I think it's really important to have a very clear objective about why is it that I'm doing this? And so I would then, having kind of done a bit of a brainstorm with myself, come up with maybe the top 1 or 2 priorities for your business on social media. And then I would create a SMART goal. So I'm sure we all know what SMART goals are. They need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, they need to be realistic, and they need to have a time-based element to it. So what this would look like for a social media strategy is, for example, if my goal is to increase my brand awareness in the next three months, how am I going to make that specific? I'm going to be focusing, my one platform I'm going to focus on is going to be LinkedIn. How am I going to make it measurable? Well, I'm going to look for an average of 10 comments for every post that I put on LinkedIn. Do I think that's achievable? Yes, because at the moment I'm averaging 5 comments per post on my LinkedIn. So I think that by focusing solely on LinkedIn, I should be able to increase my comments by from 5 to 10 per post. Is that going to be realistic? Yes, because I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day. I'm going to set a timer on my phone, and I'm going to ring fence those 15 minutes to focus on my LinkedIn profile and focus on engaging with my target audience. So I'm not just going to be broadcasting my stuff out onto LinkedIn, but I might have a hit list of 10 companies that I want to work with and be engaging with their posts that they put onto the social media platform. And that's how I'm going to get those comments on my LinkedIn posts. And I'm going to review it every month on the 30th of the month, and I've got a date that I want to achieve that by. And I think that every business should have at least one SMART goal for their social media strategy, and they ought to measure it, because actually we can spend a lot of time faffing about, procrastinating on social media, not actually doing anything specific, not actually moving the needle in our business. And this is a way that we can really pull that back and make it work. Yes, so the visual cell is also by Marcus Sheldon. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so now we're going to look at the customer journey. So if you've done any kind of marketing type course, people are always wobbling on about the customer journey. But actually for a social media strategy, it's really important, because what we're trying to do is we're looking to get people to engage more with our stuff. So we're looking to raise awareness of who we are. So we start off with a big fat zero. Nobody knows who we are. Nobody knows what we do. And we're raising awareness. So people know that Esther has a business called Online Media Works, and she focuses on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. So that's raising awareness. And then we come to consideration. So this is where those questions that we've written down that we think our customers are asking really come into play, because somebody might put into Google, is there a LinkedIn course near me, for example? And so they might then come up with several different providers who are going to offer LinkedIn courses, and then they would be making a decision. And I want them to pick my LinkedIn course rather than somebody else's, but they're going to make a decision. And one of the factors they're going to use could be my website, it could be my social media posts, it could be the way that I have come across as friendly and engaging and outgoing and knowledgeable on social media. Then hopefully they're going to buy my course, and then they're going to become an advocate. So they're going to go out into the world and spread by word of mouth, and by leaving me a great review that says, I knew nothing about LinkedIn, but it's now been transformed because I've worked with Esther, and these are the outcomes that I've got. So this is the customer journey that we want all of our customers to go on in our in our businesses, but we don't know where those customers are. They might find us at the decision-making stage when they're comparing us against somebody else, but we don't know that, because we don't know what goes on inside their heads and how the algorithms work and what posts they're actually seeing. So we need to make sure that we're not just posting the same stuff out all the time. So I'm not just posting out stuff that says, hello, I've got a LinkedIn course, would you like to buy it? I'm posting out stuff that will educate, that will inspire, that will inform, maybe entertain, maybe support, maybe convince. So I'm thinking about 6 different, if you like, pillars of types of content that I need to have in my social media strategy that will resonate with my ideal customer at whatever stage they happen to find me in their customer journey. So I went back to ChatGPT and I stuck with Menopausal Mary, and I said, what content would Menopausal Mary be most likely to engage with? So ChatGPT has given me educational articles and blog posts, lifestyle and wellness tips, personal stories and testimonials, self-care and mental health, product recommendations and reviews, and expert interviews and webinars. So then I could think, right, okay, so how could I write an educational article or a blog that would appeal to Mary? Or how can I create some wellness tips? But I've got 6 different areas here that would automatically bring some life and some new creativity into my social media posts, if all I've been doing up to this point is just saying, I've got this to sell, would you like to buy it, would you like to buy it, would you like to buy it? Because that's not going to work, because that's only a small part of the kind of customer journey. So it is a bit like spaghetti, and we really do want to move our potential customers down this road with us by making sure that we've got the right types of social media content going out for every stage. Is that clear? Has anybody got any questions at this point? Just going to have a quick mouthful of water.
Yeah, Esther, how do you think ChatGPT is going to evolve over time?
Oh, I don't know. I've got no idea. I think it's really exciting, because at the moment I'm kind of using it in a way that a business owner might, to save them time and stop their writer's block, etc. But I can see it getting quite sophisticated. I haven't used it for images and things, but I've seen some images that have been created using ChatGPT, and yeah, it's mind-blowing, really.
Yes, we've used it a bit for images and stuff, and I've certainly used it to write a few blogs, or the starter of a blog, and it's definitely interesting, isn't it? It's definitely, because you kind of think, oh, I hadn't thought of that, and that's really helpful.
Yeah. Rebecca's asking, do you think LinkedIn is becoming a bit formulaic? I can see patterns in entries that I see. Wondered if this might start to put people off. Yeah, possibly, but I think that if you're being genuine, I think if you're being genuinely authentic, and you're thinking about all these different areas that you need to include in your social media, you're not going to be formulaic. I do agree that there are some gurus on LinkedIn who are saying, here is the 6 things that you need to do to make sure that you're going to beat the algorithm. No, I think you need to, I try to use LinkedIn in a way that I would use it either at a networking event or at a kind of expo, where you're chatting with people and you're building up relationships, and so you're getting the authentic me, rather than some kind of formulaic post. But yes, I do see those two. Kim saying, could you address B2B social media? I sell wholesale, maybe it's the same. Well, yes, I mean, I do predominantly, as a business, I sell B2B, but those businesses that are buying are also people. So you still have to understand what drives them emotionally to make a sale with you rather than one of your competitors. And you still have to make it easy for people to buy from you. And they're still going to be going through this buyer's journey, whether they're buying something retail online or whether they're buying something wholesale. So I think the principles still apply. Is ChatGPT an app or a website? Apple App Store. Oh, right. So I would go online in my browser. I tend to use Google Chrome and put in OpenAI ChatGPT, and that will open a new web page for you. I think there is an app. I've got a feeling you might have to pay for the app. I don't pay for ChatGPT, like I don't pay for LinkedIn Premium. That's another story for another day. But yes, I would use the kind of free version, and I would use it online on your browser to start with. Okay. Yeah, free is good. I'm a big fan of free over here. Yeah, so if we think about what kind of content we might need to be putting out at all these different parts of our buyer's journey. So if we're raising awareness, so this could be how to do something. This could be a problem that our product fixes and how it fixes it. It could be a guide to doing something with our product. There could be examples of how people have used our product to do X, Y, and Z. It might be that we have to break it down a bit and people don't really understand what it is that we do. So what is a business coach or whatever it happens to be? So those are some kind of things that you might want to think about putting out as content when you're raising awareness. When people are considering you against your competitor, so this might be about the best time to buy. So I don't know what the person sells who's selling wholesale, but if, for example, it was Christmas things, probably the best time to buy your Christmas things wholesale is about now. And because the lead times are much longer. So again, it's about when your customer is going to be buying those things. So the best time to buy this is then. You could have a case study about, a particular customer that you've worked with. They had a particular problem. Maybe it was a logistics problem, and this is what you did. This is how you kind of came up with the best solution for them, and this is now how it works with you as being their main supplier. So you could do a post about this versus that, myths about whatever it is, costs or best solutions. And so I did another ChatGPT prompt. So create an optimized buyer's journey for menopausal Mary to buy a course to help her with the issues that she has. And it's given me options for the awareness stage. It's given me options for the consideration stage. It's then when we come to the decision stage, we're looking at maybe what you need to have in place before you do this course or before you buy this particular product. You might want to be addressing objections that people have. Oh my gosh, $499 is too much for a 4-week menopause course. Well, whatever it happens to be. Why our menopause course is better than somebody else's menopause course, but without actually naming them. Who isn't a good fit for my menopause course? And then maybe different pricing and features. So at the decision-making stage, again, this is the kind of content that you might want to be using. And then you've got loyalty. So this could be video explainers. This could again be case studies. It could be a demo of how your software works, for example. You could be using, again, testimonials and reviews. You might give a loyalty discount for people that either refer you to somebody else or become repeat purchasers. So again, ChatGPT came up with some good prompts for the decision stage, which were a limited time offer to create a sense of urgency, for social proof, testimonials, success stories, and a clear enrollment process. So this was about enrolling on a course. So how can you make it really clear what the next steps are going to be for somebody that purchases your course? And then in the post-purchase stage, it's about welcoming and onboarding, it's about ongoing support, and then other feedback and testimonials. Okay, so what I would then do is think about, okay, in the year we've got 12 months, let's find 12 different topics that our potential client, our potential customer might be engaging with. And I would have a blank sheet with the months on it, and I would come up with my 12 different ideas and I would schedule them in. Because if you've got 12 months, so for 1 month I might pick, I don't know, how to improve your company page on LinkedIn. That might be my focus for the month. So I might write a blog about it, then I can turn that blog into social media content. I could have a testimonial or a case study of somebody that I've worked with on their LinkedIn company page. This is how it was before, their engagement was 0. This is what we did. These are the different things that we did. And now this, you look at the engagements now, is amazing. Whatever. Come up with 12 different things that you think your customer might be interested in, and then make that a monthly focus, because that will make your social media planning much easier. And then once you've got your 12 topics, oh, here we go. What are 12 topics that might likely to be of most interest to Menopausal Mary? So again, if you've got a blank sheet of paper and you're thinking, I don't know what my customers' issues are, you can ask ChatGPT and they will come up with some things. But again, sanity check it. Do I think that these kind of things that I'm being given are actually going to resonate with my target audience? So there we go, 12 different blog topics. So once you've got your blog on your website, one of the good things to do is to link from your older blogs to your newer blog, because Google likes to have those interlinks in your website. You might want to create a kind of short link using Bitly or Owly or something like that. You could then post your blog to LinkedIn as an article. What I wouldn't do is completely copy verbatim my blog on my website and transpose that across into LinkedIn. Google doesn't like duplication of content. So I might take a shortened version of my blog and put it on LinkedIn as an article, and then link from LinkedIn to my website. Because one of the things I might want to be doing as one of my SMART objectives is to drive more traffic to my website from my social media. I might want to create a video, because we all know that it's videos that are really engaging with people. Think about what stops you scrolling through social media, and it may well be that there's somebody talking about something, and actually listening to somebody chat and talk through is more engaging than actually reading a long kind of blog post or a LinkedIn article. Here I would say, if you're going to do videos, it's really important to use captions, and in a lot of the social media platforms it will all auto caption for you now, because lots of people goes back to my thing about how do people use the social media platform. Lots of people use social media with the sound turned off. So if you're watching the video, make sure that the people can understand what you're saying, even if the sound's on. You might be on different groups and forums on Facebook, so you could post your answer as your blog as an answer to a question that somebody's put in one of those groups. You could use your blog as a pinned post. So on all of your platforms, you can have a pinned post at the top, a pinned tweet. On Twitter, so it's the first thing that people see when they come to your profile. then I would be creating appropriate size social media posts. Don't create one social media post and then try and put it out on all of the platforms, because they're just not going to fit. So I would use Canva. This is where I would pay for Canva Pro. It's only about £10 a month. So I can auto resize those posts. So if I've created it in landscape for Facebook, then I can make it square for Instagram, or long for a pin, or long for a story, or whatever it happens to be. So make sure that you're using things that are the right shape and size, because that's a big turn off when somebody comes and they can't quite read it because it's cropped some of the words off. Include it in your email newsletter that you send out. I do think everybody should have an email list, and send maybe monthly, maybe quarterly, whatever works for you, because we don't own anything that's on social media. So at any time, Mark Zuckerberg or Microsoft, who own LinkedIn, or whoever, can come along and say, right, if you now want to be on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, you need to pay this, jump through these hoops, etc. So it's really important to have your own email newsletter. Add it to your email signature. People forget to do this. It's like, read my new blog, it's about X, Y, and Z, and people will, you don't know who you might email, and they might be really interested in what it is you're saying. Sorry, I need to cough. I'm just going to mute myself for a second. Too much talking today already. And then I post it to Google My Business. Again, I do a BIPC session on Google My Business. Again, it's free, really good way to get you found in search. So post one of your blogs or the best performing post this week, put it on your Google My Business. So Google knows that your business is live and you've still got stuff happening. And talk about it live, go live, be brave, talk about it on your social media. So there's a little checklist at the bottom. So have I put it on my personal Facebook? Have I put it on my Facebook business page, my personal LinkedIn, my company LinkedIn, my Instagram, my Pinterest, my Twitter, and have I created a video and put it onto YouTube? So your checklist might look a bit different from mine, but I do love a checklist, and I think it is quite useful to go through saying, right, I've got a new blog, this is what I'm going to do. Cool One says, is it worth to pay the fee for LinkedIn? No, currently I pay £149 of access to MD emails to hunt the companies for sale. Well, possibly then, I don't know. There's lots of ways you can find managing directors on LinkedIn using free search. But if Sales Navigator works for you and you're getting good results from that, then it's about return on investment. So if you're investing £149 a month, but actually it's generating thousands of pounds of revenue, then yeah, absolutely do that. Vicky says, love this, just thinking about starting a blog. Good, that's great, super dupes. Blogging's great. So there's our checklist. So then you might want to look at the kind of customer journey planner and think about, right, okay, I've got these 5 different areas of my customer journey: awareness, consideration, decision, retention, adoption, whatever you want to call it, advocacy. And then I've got 6 different topics down here. So I want to educate, inspire, inform, entertain, support, convince. And so if we multiply 6 by 5, we get 30, which is a post a day, if that's what we were going to do on our social media. I'm not saying you need to post a day on your social media, but if we go back to how long our posts last, generally people post every day because that's the way that we're likely to get seen. But what I would say is be consistent. So if you decide, actually, do you know what, all this social media, it's much too much like a hard job. I'm just going to post twice a week on a Wednesday and a Saturday, for example, then make sure that you post consistently on a Wednesday and a Saturday, and you don't do 5 posts 1 week and then no posts for 3 weeks. Because one of the things that we're doing when we're posting out to our social media platforms is we're training the algorithm to understand what it is we're doing and how often we're posting. So then it decides who to show our content to. So consistency is really key. So if you're going to be posting twice a week, think about, think about which bits of your customer journey and which pillars of content you're going to use for those 2 posts to make sure that you're kind of covering your bases there. So this is again quite a nice sort of filling in the blanks if it was kind of 30 posts for the month you were looking to create. But also don't forget, you don't have to create everything. You can curate posts as well so that you can see, you know, what other people are putting out. If we go back to Menopausal Mary, if there was some new research about menopause, we could post that out. So it's not our own post, but we're saying, hey, look, I don't know, Cambridge University have just come up with this new thing. What do you think? Or Davina McCall might have another TV program about menopause. Oh, look, are you watching it? What did you think? What are your thoughts? So you don't have to come up with created content that you're going to have to make yourself. You can think about where you could pull other sources of information. And linked with that, it might be that there are kind of big holidays going on or awareness days that really link in with your particular business and kind of what it is that you're doing. So this is just an idea, but you can Google loads of different, there's something for every day. And sometimes it's a bit tenuous, but sometimes it's really, you could use, World Emoji Day to say, tell me about your day in 3 emojis or whatever. So there are different ways that you can use these awareness days to engage with your target audience. I use a free, you knew I was going to say that, didn't you? Calendar, because I am old. And what I like to do is have a piece of paper that I have printed out. So I use Calendarpedia to get my printed calendar for the month, and I print it out. And then what I can do is take those, sorry, I'm going backwards, trying to go backwards, take my customer journey planner and put it in on particular days when I think I'm going to post those out. So it might take me an hour maybe to sit and plan this out, but actually then I feel secure that I've got a plan, and I don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to post to social media today, because I have actually done it. And then what I might do is ring fence some time each week to say, okay, I'm going to batch create posts using Canva, make sure I've got a testimonial post, make sure I've got a inspiring quote post, whatever it happens to be. So I've got something different going out each day. If you pay for Canva Pro, the benefit of that is the fact that you can schedule your posts directly to your social media from Canva, so you don't then have to pay for another Buffer or Hootsuite or whatever. So that's another top tip. So what I would do if I was you after this webinar this morning is I would sit and create a plan, but I would make a priority list. What are the top 3 things you need to do? Is it to create your customer avatar persona? Is it to create a SMART goal? Is it to come up with 10 blog topics that your ideal customer is going to want to engage with? And make a list of those 3 things, and then ring fence the time in your diary to actually make them happen. I've been on millions of webinars just like this one. I thought, oh, that's a good idea. Yes, I'm going to do that. But unless you actually put the time in your diary to say, this 15 minutes a day I'm going to be doing LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, or this hour I'm going to be doing my planning for the month, and this hour I'm going to be back to creating content. It doesn't happen because the day just takes on sometimes a mind of its own if we're not really strict with ourselves and have some boundaries about what we're going to do when. And then I'm a big fan of celebrating success. We're all really good at beating ourselves up and saying, oh, I was going to post every day to LinkedIn and I haven't. Okay, you haven't. That's then this is now we can only change what's going to happen moving forward. So, but I have posted twice this week and I have engaged with 3 different people and I have sent a message to somebody to set up a meeting. So celebrate the good things that you've done and work out how you're going to celebrate success. Maybe it's your favorite coffee in your favorite cup or whatever it happens to be. It doesn't have to be mega, but all those kind of dopamine hits really work well in our brains to tell ourselves that we've done a good job and encourage us to move on to the next thing. There's a question in the chat, question about training the algorithm. Would posting on consistent moments be maybe narrow the target audience instead of widening it? Okay, so I think it depends on who your target audience is. And for example, if I was going to use Instagram as my platform, the insights and analytics on Instagram will tell me when my target audience, when my audience are likely to be online. So I would use that data that I get from the insights to inform when I'm going to be posting out. So if I said, okay, I'm only going to post twice a week to Instagram, let's go into the Instagram insights. Let's see when my customers are online, and then let's post at those times. So it could be Thursday evening at 8 o'clock and Saturday evening at 8 o'clock. But then if I'm going to schedule out my post with Canva, I then don't have to be online at that time to do the posting. I can schedule that to go out when I know it's going to get the most engagement. I hope that makes sense and that answers your question. So what are your barriers to success? Is it that you haven't ring-fenced your diary? Is it that you haven't got a smart objective that you're going to measure? Just think about what it is that could trip you up so you're aware of it, so that you can bash it on the head before it does trip you up, so that you can be successful in launching this social media plan for your business. Okay, we've got 5 minutes. Any other questions? Has that been useful? Tell me what you're going to do first. What's your top priority? Maybe Dave wants to stop recording, and so that people might.
Yes, let's do that.